Now, communication that's not necessarily abusive, but that is hurtful, I do feel like I have to give an honorable mention to this type of communication. This is where I consider this destructive, but not necessarily abusive. One of them, I talk about this all the time. I don't really like rhetorical questions that are designed to prove you wrong. If you're like asking them a question so that you're leading them to answer the question in a way where you can make them wrong, right? You're only using the question to make your point. You string them through a series of questions so that you can win an argument. It's not a sincere question. Same with statements that shut down the conversation. Like if they say something and you're like, yeah, you told me this already. There's no room for curiosity. You've completely shut down a bid for connection. That's hurtful. It's not necessarily abusive, but there's no green light to actually have a connection with your partner. And if you do that a lot, every time they're making a bid, they're trying to share something with you, they're noticing something, they're turning toward you, and they want to share something that was on their mind or something they heard, and you're just like dismissing that or telling them you already know that, it's like a door slamming in their face. Also, neutral sounding observations that are actually judgments like, oh, you're late. Oh, I see you parked that way again. Or if you are asking a question that they can't ever answer properly, like, why did you do that? No, really, why did you do that? And then they try to answer it, and then you're like arguing with their answer because their answer isn't going to move the needle. It's not a real question. This is similar to the rhetorical questions. There is no way to answer it correctly. It is just a device to make your point. If you ever find yourself asking a question and then only just sort of deconstructing their answer, it's not a real question. You have a statement to make, and it's better to just make that statement rather than disguising it in a question. Speaking for the other person, assuming their motives or intentions is a boundary violation where you're telling them, oh, I think you did this because of this. You did that because you didn't care, or you give them an analysis and they don't get a chance to say what it actually was for them, and you're not open to what it was for them. You're insisting that your interpretation is correct, and you're stepping out of your lane and you're crossing into their lane and speaking for them. And maybe you're on to something, but if you're insisting, that's just going to put up a wall, right? It's not going to create a sense of safety for them to come into insight around what's going on for them. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is poking holes in technicality. So this is when you're focusing on the small details instead of the main concern. They bring something up, and instead of hearing the spirit of what their grievance or their request, you're focusing on the technicalities, you're focusing on where they didn't get it just quite right, right? And making that more important than the spirit of what it is that they're actually trying to communicate. If you've been on the receiving end of that, you know what I mean.